Stu, I want you to name the president that said this. It could be anybody. The eyes of the nation are on California because the decision you're going to make isn't just going to have a huge impact on California. It's going to reverberate around the nation and, quite frankly, not a joke, around the world.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, that's it, yeah,
yes,
okay.
you were close. He was the guy who ran 2 terms before Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, Joe Biden?
Joe Biden.
Okay.
Yes, exactly right. Larry Elder is with us now from the great state of California.
Glenn, and this is the guy who lied for decades about his alleged civil rights record. Remember? I used to go to black churches, and I would strategize about desegregating restaurants and movie theaters in Wilmington, Delaware. New York Times said, never happened, and he still kept repeating the lie after the New York Times said it wasn't true. He lied and said, I tried to visit Nelson Mandela. I got arrested visiting him when he was behind bars in apartheid Africa. Never happened. If you ain't really black, if you don't know if you want to vote for me or Donald Trump, this guy has a lot of nerve coming to California and trashing me.
I have to tell you, it would be a lot easier to understand you if you'd take your Klan hood off.
No, Glenn, please. Blackface, white supremacy. So
I know.
Times.
This is crazy, Larry. I saw a picture of you, and you were walking down the street, and you had a determined face. And quite honestly, it reminded me very much of all of the pictures that came out of the South in the 50s and the 60s where the kids were going to school and they had to be escorted because of the white people screaming at them, calling them names. I haven't seen that photograph since that time until the photograph of you this week, and no one in the mainstream media did anything but mock it.
That's right. Imagine if I had a D at the end of my name. Imagine if I were Barack Obama, Senator Barack Obama running for president, and some white woman in a gorilla mask throws an egg at him.
Oh, my gosh.
They'd be talking about hate crime. There'd be an international manhunt. Interpol would have been called in. They'd be talking about this in Bangladesh. But because it's me, nobody gives a rip. And by the way, it's a white woman wearing a gorilla mask. People have told me, and I've said, at the risk of sounding sexist, Glenn, how do we know it was a mask? He went there.
Holy cow! All right. So, Larry, tell me about your message of hope and if it's enough to connect against the $50-60 million worth of smears that have been played against you.
75 million and counting. Look, crime is up dramatically in California, dramatically. In LA, where I am, shootings, homicides up 41%, largely because during the coronavirus pandemic, the peak of it, 20,000 convicted felons were released early. And based upon historical data, the majority of them are likely to reoffend. We have soft on crime DAs, and Gavin Newsom's fingerprints are on both of them in San Francisco and in Los Angeles. He sat up there at the French Laundry restaurant, of course, with the very people that drafted the mandates. They were not wearing masks. They were not engaging in social distancing. His own kids were enjoying in-person private education while denying in-person public education to the 80% of the black and brown students who are educated in our government schools in California. I only mention their race, Glenn, because people like Gavin Newsom pride themselves on caring about black and brown students. They were denied a whole year of in-person education. Already before the pandemic, half of third graders in our public education schools could not read at state levels of proficiency, and I assure you those levels are not high. Math scores even worse. I, Larry Elder, from the hood, went to Crenshaw High School, where only 2% of kids at my former high school are math proficient. I support school choice. The money should follow the child rather than the other way around. Black and brown parents support school choice according to polls. They want to put their kid in a private school, a charter school, a religious school, or even use the money for homeschooling. What they're afraid of, Glenn, is that Larry Elder is going to break this sorcerer's spell that Democrats have had over black and brown voters who routinely pull the lever for the Democratic Party, even though they're denying the first step towards leaving poverty, which is to finish high school, one where you can read, write, and compute at grade level, and they're getting a substandard education, and black and brown parents know it.
So you have 54% of Hispanics want to recall Governor Newsom, and you are it's being said now. There's no, I mean, the New York Times and everybody is just saying there's no way that Gavin Newsom, there's absolutely no way. And you also have people, grandparents, who are going to vote and saying, it says that I've already voted and I didn't vote.
Right.
What are the chances? What are the odds against this machine here?
Well, Glenn, I'm optimistic enough to believe that so many people are fed up. People are leaving California for the first time in our state's 170-year history. More businesses have left so far this year than have left all of last year. The rate at which they're leaving is twice the rate at which they've left the previous 3 years. Middle-class people are leaving. Working-class people are leaving. And the number one reason they cite is the price of a home. It's just now hit the average price in California, $800,000, 150% above the national average. And businesses, when they leave, they cite high cost of living, high taxes. We have the highest state income tax in the nation, 13.3%, and regulations. We have rising crime. We have rising homelessness. We have the fire seasons because this man has poorly managed our forest fires. We're running out of water because we haven't added to our water infrastructure in about 40 or 50 years when the state was half its size. We're having rolling brownouts because of the way he's mismanaged the power grid. There's no front, no level, no policy, in my opinion, Glenn, where Californians are better off over the last 2 years because of this man's supervision. And as a result, I believe no matter what they do, no matter what kind of shenanigans they pull, he's still going to be recalled, and I'm going to be the next governor of California.
Oh, I from your mouth to God's ears. Well, you know, Biden was right, and possibly about the first thing, maybe the first time he's ever been right in his life, but not for the reason he thought. The eyes on the nation are on California because the decision they make is going to have a huge impact on California and will reverberate around the nation and, no joke, not around the world. I think what you could bring to California would be a massive turning point, and I just pray that everyone who can vote and is tired of this and wants some common sense, send a message to the entire world. It's done. And go vote for Larry Elder and bring a friend or 7.
Absolutely. You know, Obama has cut a commercial for him. Bernie Sanders has cut a commercial for him. Senator Warren has cut a commercial for him. But in the commercial, they never say the magic words. Gavin Newsom has done a good job for California.